Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Daisy. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about La Leyenda de El Charro Negro. So if you guys are interested, grab your snacks, grab your cobija, and let's go straight into it. La Leyenda del Charro Negro is a very famous legend that originates in Mexico, having many versions varying from different pueblos. But today I will share with you all the version that was told to me, so let me know your version down below. Very curious to hear yours. So it is said that many have seen a man dressed in an elegant black charro suit riding on his beautiful yet terrifying black horse with eyes that many people describe to be balls of fire. This man to be known as El Charro Negro. Sightings of him have usually been in the outskirts of the main city, and he usually presents himself to people who travel alone, as he finds them to be an easier target to fall victim into his trap. His trap, you may ask? Money in exchange for their soul. But once long ago, El Charro Negro was a regular man having financial hardships. He came from a humble family, but quickly became fascinated with the finer things in life. His fondness for lavish items and styles soon became like an obsession. He would even go as far as to not eat for days to save his pesitos to afford a nice sombrero. Well, as time went on, his parents had passed away, creating a huge turning point for El Charro Negro. He began to seriously consider making a deal with the devil himself. So that is exactly what he did. He summoned the devil to make the deal that will forever change his life. The devil offered him a deal that El Charro could not refuse. He offered him an insane amount of money that not even in 2 lives he would be able to spend. But only one thing in return: El Charro's soul. Well, El Charro accepted the offer without any hesitation, and soon he would live the lavish lifestyle that he always dreamed about. But as the time went by, as his youthful years were coming to an end, soon the devil would come to collect his side of the deal. El Charro grew tired of this lavish lifestyle that he desperately once wanted. But to the devil, a deal is a deal. The devil reappeared to El Charro, reminding him of that deal that they once made long ago, leaving El Charro mortified of what was to come. He tried his best to hide from his debt collector. Sensing his impending doom, he fled on his best horse under the cover of darkness, carrying little more than the gold coins in his pocket, in hopes of no one finding him. Realizing what was occurring, the devil reappeared to El Charro and his horse with the intention of finally collecting his debt. The devil confronted El Charro, making it clear to him that he would have waited until his death to collect, but due to his actions, it left him no choice but to collect his soul then and there. This time, El Charro Negro had no place to run or hide. Before he could say anything, his flesh began to disappear, the moonlight shining upon the bones that were left. The devil said to him again, "I see that your horse is faithful to you, so it must be cursed just like you and condemned to accompany you on your journey to hell. Although from time to time, I want you to do something for me. You're going to charge my debtors. If you do your job well, I will let the man who accepts the bag of gold coins you bring take your place." So El Charro Negro was condemned to suffer in hell, and only to leave to collect those who had debts with the devil, with the only hope of one night finding a man that would accept El Charro's offer, taking the place of El Charro, so both El Charro and his horse can rest in peace. So that was the version of La Leyenda de El Charro Negro that was told to me. So let me know down below your guys' versions. But as I mentioned before, there have been many sightings of El Charro Negro in rural parts of Mexico. It has been rumored in Tonacintla, San Isidro, Mexico, many people have encountered El Charro Negro in a specific tree, in a pirul tree. Not sure how to translate that, but it's a specific tree that he appears at 12 in the morning. The people of the town recount a story that 40 years ago, a man had an encounter with El Charro Negro. El Charro appeared to this man and offered him money, but after this encounter, the man became insane.
Se aparece el charro negro. Mucha gente de aquí de San Isidro la ha visto.
La tradición cuenta que el charro se aparece en un árbol de pirul.
Este charro tiene su lugar de origen, que es más aquí atrás, que se llama en un árbol del pirul. Y ahí lo pueden encontrar todos los viernes a las 12 de la noche.
Aproximadamente hace 40 años, un señor tuvo un encuentro con el charro negro. Le ofreció dinero y dicen que enloqueció.
Porque un vecino de acá también dicen que el charro le dijo una ubicación de donde había dinero y que fuera a rascar, que él fuera a rascar y que le iba a entregar los barriles que él quisiera llenos de dinero. Pero el señor se volvió también alcohólico y, o sea, no se explican por qué él incluso se fue de aquí, ya él ya no radica aquí, no saben si ya murió, si sigue viviendo, por lo mismo, se volvió como loco.
Actualmente, cerca del árbol de pirul se encuentra una casa, en la cual suceden eventos extraordinarios.
Bueno, los vecinos aquí creen que escuchan ruidos o no sé, o han tenido experiencias. La cuestión es que venían a rentar, estaban unos 8 o 15 días y se iban.
The YouTube channel Munrra Vlogs, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, I'll leave their channel down below just in case, but they did a paranormal investigation at a cemetery in Mexico, and they captured on camera what they believe to be El Charro Negro himself. Take a look.
Güey. ¿Quién eres?
Te están hablando, güey.
Akira. Aquí por la casita rosa, güey. Aquí por la casita rosa, güey. ¡A la madre, güey! ¡No mames, güey! ¡No! ¡A la madre, güey! ¡No mames, güey!
Let me know down below, what do you guys think of that footage? Do you believe it to be fake or real? I love to hear your guys' thoughts on the credibility, on the realness of certain footages. Because sometimes I'm like, that's true, I didn't think about that. You're right. So let me know down below. But now this next clip is from Alberto del Arco. I always mention him on my YouTube channel, and I'll leave his channel down below as well so you can go check him out. But he posted on his channel of a video that his subscribers sent him that they believe they captured El Charro Negro as well. Now this one was very eerie. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I'm not going to lie, it was difficult to see the outline of the sombrero, the silhouette, but with turning up my brightness on my phone, I did get to see it. Were you guys able to make out the outline? But what do you guys think? Do you guys think it was El Charro Negro, or do you believe it to be a hoax in general, or maybe it was a spirit of an ex-owner, a worker that is taking care of the horses? I don't know. What do you guys think? But now I think it's a good idea to read my subscribers' encounters of El Charro Negro. So let's just begin. So starting off with our first story. Hi Daisy, my name is Giselle, and here is a scary but true story. A long time ago, my grandpa was at work. It was late at night and he had to get home before it got more late. Since he had no car, he had to walk home. It was dark outside. The only light was from the moon and stars. As he was walking, he had a feeling that something was behind him and following him. He got uncomfortable and then he finally decided to turn around. When he turned around, he saw a man on a horse. The horse had no legs, and the man didn't have a face. Instead of a face, the man had fire. It was El Charro. My grandpa got scared and ran home as fast as he could. The next morning, my mom woke up and she saw my grandpa and grandma and my great-grandma and great-grandpa sitting down talking to my grandpa and giving him remedies because he was trembling from how scared he was. Now, let's move to our second story. Hello Daisy, I have a lot of scary stories that did not really happen to me but people that I know. I do have some scary stuff that I have experienced, but that can be for another time. This story happened to my grandma back in the early 90s before I was even born. My grandma lives on a small ranch in Jalisco, Mexico, and this happened to her at night. It was 2 in the morning and she needed to go to the restroom. Around this time, dogs were howling, which is not common in the ranch unless the dogs sense fear. When my grandma came out of the restroom, she heard footsteps outside her patio door. So she opened the little window on her patio door and she saw a tall man dressed as a charro walking down the dirt road. My grandma says that when the charro passed the door, she felt chills and she went back inside. The next day, someone in the ranch passed away. My grandma was shocked to hear that someone died the night after she saw the charro. In the Mexican legend, El Charro Negro is believed to be the devil himself. So I believe that my grandma saw the devil that night. I would also like to mention that it happened to her the second time. This time, she did not see the devil, but rather heard a wooden casket carriage. And that also means that someone will die the next day. And to her surprise, someone passed away again. This time, it was a young boy. I can't believe that the ranch that I like to visit has a dark, creepy past. Now on to the last story. Hi Daisy, I hope you're doing well. The story that I want to share with you happened to me when I was 10 years old when I lived in Guadalajara. A little brief backstory, I unfortunately had no parental care ever since my mother passed away. After her passing, I lived with my older sisters who were teenagers at the time. They used to leave my little brother and sister and I home alone at night while they would go out with their boyfriends. We did not mind being how young and naive we were at the time. We used to play with the neighborhood kids, but unlike us, they had parents who gave them a curfew, leaving my little brother and sister and I to be the only ones outside. We would purposely stay outside instead of going inside the house because we were afraid of the paranormal activity that would hide in at night inside the home. For example, many sounds were heard late at night as if someone was washing the dishes or if the dishes would fall to the ground. Steps being heard as if they were dragging their feet through the halls. Anyways, but back to the story. This night, we stayed out, sitting on the outside staircase, waiting for my sisters to come back home, when I started hearing a horse galloping in the distance. I looked to the direction where the sound was coming from and saw a silhouette of a horse, which immediately I thought back to the legend I heard about the Carreta de la Muerte. So I had a hunch that this horse was not a normal horse. I looked away out of fear, but when I gained the courage to look again, again, the silhouette had disappeared. But the strange thing is, I was still hearing the noise of a horse gallop, this time coming closer to us. So I grabbed my brother and sister and ran inside. I was more scared of the horse noises that were outside than whatever was inside, lol. When we got inside, I don't know why my 10-year-old self peeked through the window to see, but I did. Now reflecting, I noticed that when I looked out from the window, there was somewhat of a fog outside. But now I find it strange since I can clearly remember that there was no fog when we were outside on the staircase. But going back to me peeking through the window, I still continued to hear the gallops of the horse, even more closer. Trembling but yet still wanting to actually see an actual horse for my peace of mind, when suddenly I saw the horse finally pass by the house, but with what appeared to be a well-dressed man riding it. At the time, I was relieved since I saw what I thought was another human being. From my house window, I had view of the end of the street, and it was well lit since there was a lamppost. This horse and the man riding it, once it got near the end of the street, girl, it disappeared right in front of my eyes. I immediately closed the blinds and ran straight to the room my siblings and I shared. I got under my blanket and just tried to get my breathing back from the panic until I thankfully fell asleep. Now, I don't know if what I saw when I was 10 years old was in fact El Charro Negro, but it's just too much of a coincidence that I saw a horse and a well-dressed man disappear in front of my two eyes. But I can tell you one thing that I know for sure. After that experience, we no longer stayed out late. When all the kids went back home for the night, so did we. I hope you get to read this story and are able to share it in one of your upcoming videos. Love you, girl. Luz. Love you too, girl. Thank you so much for writing in. Giselle, thank you for writing in. And Anonymous, thank you guys so much for writing in your stories. I honestly didn't think you guys were going to write in some encounters on this leyenda. For some reason, I was like, I doubt it. But now that I read these, now it's making me believe into the leyenda. What do you guys think? And if you guys have any encounters, or your family has had any encounters with El Charro Negro or any other legend for that matter, write them in. That is very fascinating to me, and I'm sure it's fascinating to all of us. But thank you guys so much for writing in. So that was it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this leyenda. If you guys have heard a different version of this leyenda, please write it down below. I'm very curious to hear your guys' version. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys all in my next one. Bye!